Hello, my lovelies! When you want to create a square nail shape but your inner voice screams, "Oh no, not that!" Familiar, right? Either the shape turns out crooked or the corners don't hold. Today, I will show you all the moments that every self-taught beginner stumbles over, and that's okay. Everyone goes through this, including me. After my last video about basic nail extension techniques, you often ask me about lifting in square shapes. So today we will put an end to these questions. We will analyze 3 golden rules that will help you do nail extensions correctly and not be afraid of the square shape. I will show you how to work with gel, which forms to choose so that you never have those terrible liftings again. And I also prepared a cool design with a magnetic effect for you. It will definitely cause delight and become a trend this winter. So are you ready to upgrade your skills? Then let's go! Now I will reveal one little secret to you on how to choose the right form. Take a form one size bigger than the nail itself. It's a trick to get a perfect imprint and avoid growth points shining through like headlights. Oh girls, how many times have I seen nail techs underestimate this step and then struggle, rebuilding the lower parallels, filing them until they're blue in the face. Believe me, no one wants to deal with that. So remember the 3 golden rules of quick and neat extensions. It's like the 3 pillars that hold the whole process together. Growth points must be tightly closed. The arch of the form and the natural nail should be similar, without cosmic gaps and dips. The form should be one size larger than the nail. It's like buying shoes with some extra room so they don't pinch. Nail extensions are kind of like cooking. Until you learn, you won't understand all the intricacies of the process. So let's get to placing the gel. Here, as they say, the devil is in the details. But today we're not going to dive into this abyss. I have a super useful video on my channel where we discuss in detail all the secrets of proper nail extensions, which gel to choose, how to work with the form, and generally all the moments for a perfect imprint. I pin it for you in the description, and if something doesn't work out for you, hurry up and watch it. Perhaps the answer to your "why doesn't it work for me" is hiding there. And now I will reveal my little secret to you. For extensions, I choose gel from Easy. It's like, like the perfect dough for a pie. Thick enough to work with comfortably, self-levels like a musical score, and dries wonderfully. I'm more than sure that with this gel, even beginners and self-taught nail techs get such nails that they're not ashamed to show off. Girls, at this stage it's very important to apply the gel evenly, like an artist painting a picture, smoothly without sudden movements. And let's not forget about the sides. There should be enough material there too, otherwise our lower parallels will be fragile. The gel should be treated gently, like a baby. No sudden movements, or you'll trap air in the forms and then you'll have to dig out all these bubbles like an archaeologist. And now attention, when working near the cuticle, we leave such a small gap, about 1 to 2 millimeters, so that the gel doesn't run out from under the form like a fugitive. We apply the form at a 45-degree angle. It's like folding a napkin for a restaurant. And slowly press it against the nail plate. As soon as the form has covered the growth points, quickly fix it with a UV flashlight for 10 seconds. This is so that our structure doesn't slide off. After that, if necessary, we correct the underside and send it to the lamp for full curing. We do the same with the other forms. I often see your questions. What does a quality nail extension depend on? Well, it's like asking what a tasty soup depends on. Everything. The gel, the forms, the brushes, the lamp. But most often, all problems stem from poor manicure. It's like building a skyscraper on sand. Unclean sinuses, incorrect preparation of the nail plate, the wrong base. And imagine, one small mistake leads to another, and it's like a snowball rolling down a mountain. One mistake, and as a result, you can get a low quality and non-wearable coating. So girls, be attentive to every step. Don't be lazy, don't skip anything, because in this business, there are no trifles. So, after the gel has fully cured, and this is a very important moment, girls, let the forms cool down a bit, and only then do we remove them. All that remains is to adjust the lower parallels, file the length, and do the alignment. I usually take a 180 grit file, although to be honest, you can also use a podo disc. It will be even faster, well, to each their own. But here, girls, I want to share a life hack with you. See these little gel flows? Many people try to remove them with a file, but it is the blue diamond bit that handles this much more neatly. It's like a little surgeon. It works precisely and doesn't touch what it doesn't need to. We remove all the dust. This is really very important. Imagine you're gluing wallpaper on a dirty wall. Nothing good will come of it. It's the same here. Now we proceed to aligning the nail plate with the same gel. You know, I am often asked, why does the gel lift from the cuticle after just a few days or a week? And I always answer the same thing. It's all about the quantity. It's like with makeup. If you apply too much foundation, it will start to clump. It's the same with gel. It should be in moderation. And now I will show you how to make the gel adhere like it's meant to be there. The thing is, the area near the cuticle, it's like a living organism. It's soft, mobile, and the gel we apply is hard as a rock. And if we put it on in a thick layer, it's simply doomed to lift off. It's like wearing tight jeans. Sooner or later the seam will burst, right? So girls, first we take our gel and apply it very thinly over the entire nail plate. It's like a primer for wallpaper. We create a moist surface for the main material to lie well. Next is the most interesting part. We put a drop of material in this ill-fated cuticle area. We carefully push it towards the sinuses and pull it down. And now attention! We take a thin brush, it's like a magic wand for us, and start leveling it all out. And here's a very important moment. Keep the finger pointed downwards. Why? So that our gel, like an obedient stream, flows to the free edge, leaving only a thin layer near the cuticle. We level and pull excess material. See this droplet we've collected? This is exactly the traitor that starts lifting later. If we hadn't removed it, everything would have gone to waste. And now for the trick. We turn our finger over so that the gel flows away from the side walls, and voila! We get a smooth and correct nail architecture. Just like that statue of Venus. It would seem, girls, such a little thing, but it can ruin all our work like a spoonful of tar in a barrel of honey. Especially our beginners are guilty of this, and when you're just starting out, you see clients coming back to you with lifting, as if with a bouquet of daisies. And that's it. Game over. Your hands drop, your enthusiasm is lost, you don't want to do anything. I've been through it all myself, so now I'm here like a good fairy to help you avoid these pitfalls. The alignment is done, the tacky layer is removed, and now it's time for the black base, which will become like that velvet sky for our stars. I use gel polish from D&K, and girls, a very important point here. Choose a polish that can cover the nail in one thin layer. It's like mascara. It's better to have a quality one that paints from the first time than to smear 3 layers and get the effect of spider legs, right? They also often write, well, how can you paint neatly under the cuticle? Either I get in too deep or everything flows. It's all about the quantity. Control the amount of material on the brush. It's like with soup. It's better to gradually add salt than to dilute with water later when you've oversalted. Therefore, girls, it's better to take less but then add a little bit with a thin brush. Or as an option, you can watch my video where we discuss all these points in detail. You'll find it in the description and at the end of the video. Yes, we've painted our nail, we send it to the lamp for a minute. And then girls, we need our silver cat with tiny metallic particles. And here it's extremely important. These particles should be really small, pre-small to get that silky sheen. We apply our cat with a medium layer so that there are enough particles and they can freely magnetize. But this doesn't mean that you need to pour out half a jar. It's like with perfume. It should be in moderation so as not to suffocate everyone around. Well, let's go magnetize our shine. We take our magnet and start conjuring. First, we bring it with the edge to the right side of the nail and collect the sheen a little above the side parallel. Just like stars in the night sky, we do the same on the other side so that all our magical particles gather in the central part. And now, we bring the magnet to the tip of the nail and here we get the brightest sheen. Oh, girls, just look at this beauty. How nicely our nails shine. And you know why all the sparkles are so cool to see? It's all thanks to our dark base. It's like the night sky against which the stars shine especially brightly. We send our little miracle to the lamp for a minute so that everything dries well, and we conjure the same way with the rest of our fingers, only one at a time. And you know what? You can experiment with different cats here. The main thing is to find a silky one that just lures with its shine. I'm showing you in silver because almost everyone has it well, and honestly, it's just luxurious. Again, we magnetize our nails from all sides, gathering the shine to the center. We're creating real magic. And now, drum roll. It's time for the stained glass top coat. Yes, girls, it is this that will create that incredible illusion of depth and volume on our nails. And this is just space. Crystal clear blue. In real life, it looks like real glass. We cover all our beauty with a leveling layer. And here, girls, I want to share a very important life hack with you. We cure all decorative top coats, especially colored ones, for at least 2 minutes. It's like with a cake. If you don't let it set properly, all the layers will slide off. It's the same here. An undercured top coat can start to lift off the polish, and we don't want that. And now a little secret. We turn the finger over so that the top coat beautifully flows to the center. There we will have the darkest part of the nail, like a black hole in space. We send it to the lamp for 2 minutes. Oh girls, just look at the incredible beauty we've created. I will tell you for sure, such nails will just be the bomb before the New Year holidays. Well, because it's really very beautiful. I want to express my immense gratitude for being with me, creating this cosmic beauty and getting inspired. These shimmering reflections, this depth, it's like a tiny galaxy on each nail. You know how much I love sharing all the little secrets? Because for me, nail art is not just a job, it's a true passion. It's something that gives me goosebumps and makes my eyes sparkle. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave your comments and give likes. For me, it's like an energy bar before a race. And of course, hurry up and visit me on Instagram. It's going to be very hot there soon too. Be bright, shimmering and unforgettable. Love and kisses, your Anna. Bye bye, beauties.